Evolve ensure grittiness.
It starts with an attitude. We need swagger, okay? Regardless of what happens out there. Doesn't matter. Keep your swagger.
Hey everybody, it's 5 Hole Fantasy Hockey. I'm your host for tonight, Mike Rogerson, and this is Zach Vogel with me, as always. How you doing, buddy?
Hey. Well, not as always, but...
Well, it's usually most of the time as much as possible.
It's been a crazy couple of weeks.
It has been.
At work, man.
It has been. We had the All-Star break, and then we're all limping our way back into things. TJ is partying in New Jersey. Birthday party?
He's at a birthday party. It's actually a Hungarian birthday party, so make sure you get that right, or you might peeve some people off.
Home of the goulash. Hungarian goulash is one of my favorite things. Oh, dude, by the way, me and Amanda went to the German restaurant last night for some high-end schnitzel and creme brulee. And holy shit, was it amazing.
That's cool. I love German food, like good German food.
It's very good.
Schnitzel of any kind.
There's a 90-year-old piano player and great food. Jagerhof is what it's called. Jagerhof, Lower Lawns.
Ja, also Jagerhof. Sehr gut. Very sexy. It's very, very European.
Now
yes.
Watch their sales just skyrocket because of that endorsement. But
yeah, you owe me free schnitzel now. Because we helped your business.
At any rate, you can get us on Twitter at FHF Hockey. You can find us on the Fantasy Hockey Discord. We're going to start off with injuries, as always. Zach, who's hurt?
Okay, so we're gonna just move our way through these because the best part is Austin Matthews coming back. He returned today. They whooped up on the Canadians, which was cool, but we're really going to be getting into that more when we talk about that trade coming up, so we'll leave that one for now. Arbor he is out, upper body. Lucas Raymond, he is on IR now with a lower body injury, and that sucks because he's just been up and down. You know, he was always kind of in that 50% range, so he's always kind of available, but like droppable at the same time this year. Demko, he had a setback in practice, and Vancouver is playing just a fucking guy against the Flyers, and they're winning. So I mean, good for you, Raj.
Archer Seelovs.
Proud of you.
Yeah, he's winning tonight. He's got like a 6 GA right now.
All you got to do to feel better about yourself is play the Flyers. There's been so many times in my life where I've been watching a game and you're listening to the announcer. It's like, yeah, this is this guy's first game ever, and playing against Flyers, and then Flyers lose to him. Like, it happens all the time. Just they love losing to no-name goalies. Although his name is Archer, so I mean that's kind of cool. OEL, he's going to be out several weeks, but I mean he hasn't really amounted to much. What do you think about Ekman Larsson here? Is anything ever going to happen again, or is this just all smoke and mirrors?
Well, you know what? He's fine. He's a serviceable defenseman. He's not a $7 million defenseman or whatever. He is a good defenseman. Like he is that. And now all of a sudden, Demko's out. Their one veteran defenseman's now out. It's full. I mean, the Canucks are in the bottom 4, right? So at this point, they're just like, oh, Demko, I think you had a setback. You got a torn lower Bedard muscle, I think is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's what it is with OEL and with him. At any rate, like OEL, who cares for fantasy? Really,
I mean, serviceable is serviceable. I want to be, I want some pizzazz. I do. I want to be wine to dine. I want a fancy defenseman. I don't want just serviceable. All right, I don't want you to take me just out to Applebee's. All right. Forsberg did not play today. He is still day to day. It was thought he might come back today. Did not happen. And then Sam Bennett still out. But I go, fuck Sam Bennett. Whatever. All right. Told you we're going to blow through him. I told you. I'm ready to get to this trade talk.
Storylines. Kalen Addison's been scratched for 2 games in a row. Big whoop. Vladislav Gavrikov, the funnest name in hockey.
Vladdy Gavs is a way awesome nickname for him.
And sitting out for Columbus for trade-related reasons.
I hope he goes somewhere cool.
That's the new thing, right? Trade-related reasons. I can't wait to see where he goes, though. Imagine him getting a shot as like a 2D on a great team. That would be so much better than where he's been. And I really like him. I hope he gets there. But forget everything we've said up to now. The biggest thing that's happened is the Toronto trade, and it is a Toronto trade. O'Reilly and Acciari to the Leafs for a bunch of junk. Abramov, who's a prospect, who's
and a bunch of picks.
Yeah, never really had a chance. Gaudette, who Canucks, a bunch of other places, ended up in Toronto.
They trade him to get to make some room on the cap. They're getting almost nothing in return except for the picks. The picks are the only thing that's worthwhile here. You have a first, a second, and a third, but they're all spread out. So I mean, it is what it is. I think it was a great trade.
Yep.
Ryan O'Reilly had an assist today. I believe it was on a Michael Bunting goal with Calle Yarncroc on the other side of the assist, which is kind of weird because they are on 3 separate lines. He actually started with Tavares and Marner today. Tavares moved over to the wing, but I like the way it looks, and I'm excited for Noel Acciari too. Except they stuck his ass on the fucking 4th line.
Well, I think that that was power play 2. It seems like a power play had just expired because it wasn't a power play goal. But that was what was power play 2 tonight. So I think that's why there was that weird line. O'Reilly did play most of the night with Marner and Tavares, which hard to believe he didn't get any 5-on-5 points. But if that's going to be the line, I think O'Reilly is a huge hit. Like, that's amazing. And Acciari is a great, even if he is on the 4th line, he's going to get you hits, and he kind of scores in bunches.
He's definitely good for some points. That's the whole thing. Like, he didn't. So they won 5-1 today. Acciari had nothing, but he had 5 shots on goal.
Exactly.
I take it. I'm down for you have a good chance to score goals if you're shooting 5 times a game on net. I dig it.
Yeah, I like that, and I think if O'Reilly's going to be playing center, and that pushes Tavares over to the wing, and I mean, man, with having Marner on one side and then O'Reilly in the middle, that pretty much sets Tavares up to be strictly a shooter at this point, right? Because I mean, Marner can score, O'Reilly can score, but really they're primarily setup guys. So I think it's going to be a little bump to Tavares's shots and goals coming up. And as far as like O'Reilly's fantasy value, I think it's absolutely a huge bump.
It's a huge boon. It's a huge boon. And he's under 50% now. Right now. It's at 41% as we speak.
Yeah, I got him as a pick coming up, which is a super obvious one. But I do like Acciari as well. I think he's
Noel Acciari 9%.
I think he's a fantastic
very pick-upable
addition, right? Yeah, great pick-upable, but I think he's great for the Leafs. Like, I know you're a big Leafs fan, and I'm a closet Leafs fan as well, and I think that, like, as far as what the Leafs actually need, right? Like, O'Reilly is great. But I think Acciari might even be a bigger piece to what they actually need to go far in the playoffs, because they don't have an issue with offense. That's not been a problem. What they have an issue with is
grittiness,
is pretty much exactly what he does. So I think that's team-wise, that's great, which is, goes up the ladder, because I think he's a guy who he's going to probably get you 18 to 22 goals on, some are going to be on line 4, some are going to be on line 2, just throughout the year. So I think it's a great trade.
Some are going to be shorthanded, and some are that's what he does.
Yeah, he is what he is. He's kind of a wild card, which, again, the Leafs have all the high-end scoring that anyone could ever ask for. So I think he fills a big gap there. I think, honestly, it's a great thing for the team, which in turn is just great for everybody involved. And the two guys coming to Toronto, Acciari and O'Reilly, biggest of all for them. So in terms of last week and who kind of stood out from last week, quite a few nice little performances. A couple guys that aren't news, aren't really guys you're going to pick up or anything like that, but Dylan Larkin had 10 points in 4 games, which is great. He's been a guy that has had huge prospect for 5 years and is never really satisfied, but he's coming alive right now. 5 goals, 5 assists in 4 games. And then Adrian Kempe, who I've liked, I think we've all liked, but 6 goals and an assist in 3 games. So a lot of goals for those two guys, kind of mid guys who could be better. So it's nice to see them doing that.
I mean, if we're talking about guys that are just going to be straight unavailable, but we want to talk about them, then we could just talk about anybody from the Rangers. Artemi Panarin. Artemi Panarin is just eating up. He loves this. I don't know what you think. I mean, I think that the Rangers are my favorite to win the Cup this year. The way that team looks like it's poised to make a run. Dude, in the past 4 games, they've scored 23 goals. That's 5.75 goals per game.
Yep,
that's
I like
crazy.
It. I like
and
it a lot.
They've scored at least 5 goals in their last 8 games or some crazy shit like that. I don't have it right in front of me, and it's been a while since they've even scored 4 goals. Now today was a different story. Previously from today, man, they're just on fire. I do. I gotta put a spotlight on my boy Timmy Stutz. It's 7 points in his last 5 games. Dylan Dubé is looking really good. 4 goals and 3 assists in his last 3. He's actually available. He's a guy that you can actually go out and get. And for this upcoming week, I would actually think that sounds like a really good idea. And Robbie Fabry, 3 goals, 5 assists in 4 games. Also very available, 11%.
Yep. Yeah, those last couple in particular are guys that you can actually get. And I mean, talking about Dylan Dubé, he does have a great start of the week schedule, which kind of leads us into this week's.
Yeah, we were talking about that before we started the show. So they play Philly and then they play Arizona, just off night, and then have a back-to-back. So they even have the 3 games in the first 4 days. A sweet dick schedule.
Yeah, for sure. So in terms of this week's schedule, we've got Monday, we got 6 games. It's a pretty standard week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, off nights. Monday is 6 games, Tuesday 9, Wednesday 3 games for a really light night. Thursday 10, Friday 6, Saturday 11, and Sunday 7. So most of the nights are pretty moderate. Actually, the light nights aren't too light, and the heavy nights aren't too heavy, except for Wednesday is very light. In terms of the best schedules, New York and Winnipeg, New York Islanders and Winnipeg, 4 games, 4 off nights for the perfect schedule.
I'm so tired of talking about friggin' Winnipeg, man. They always have a good schedule.
I know.
We're always talking about, hey, Winnipeg has the best weekend schedule. Like, they had it for, like, 3 out of, like, 5 weeks straight. Now they got a perfect schedule. We're always talking about damn Winnipeg. How often do we have to talk about Blake Wheeler? It's like friggin' vanilla ice cream. Just regular.
Oh, it's brutal. And, I mean, the next tier of good schedules, 4 games, 2 off nights, is Buffalo, Calgary, LA, Minnesota, the Rangers, and Pittsburgh. Well, I mean, the Rangers are exciting, as we were talking about. The rest of that bunch is... Yeah.
I'm a big fan of LA's schedule, actually. Especially the latter half of the week. They have a Thursday, Friday back-to-back, and then they play again on Sunday. They're all away games, but I love the fact that it's like super condensed. They don't play on Monday. So, hell, they even have, 4 games in 6 days. I like that. You can start off with, even like a Florida Panthers. They play Monday against Anaheim and then don't play again until Friday. So you can pick somebody up that's going to score some points, against Anaheim, and then just straight up move to LA and stay there for the week.
Yeah, and actually that's a big thing about this week. There is combos.
There's always combos, Raj. There's always combos. Split your week into little weeks.
Worst schedules. There's a few teams with 2 games. Arizona, Colorado, Dallas, and Florida all have 2 games. But speaking of combos, Arizona and Florida, both of their 2 games are off nights. Florida in particular has Anaheim on Monday and then Buffalo on Thursday.
They're so far apart. Like, both of their games, they're so far apart. It's not like they're condensed into a 3-day span where they play 2 games.
No.
Like, that's why I said it's only worth maybe, picking up a Florida player just for that Monday game and then dropping the shit out of them.
If you're going to do that, you might want to get Florida for that Monday. But other than that, I'd try to avoid all those 2-game teams. In terms of tips of the week, we kind of touched on, I think, what's the main point of the week is there's some good splits to be had. I really like Calgary for Monday, Wednesday. Calgary has easy matchups, and then swap for Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Well, you end up with this 5 games played and 4 off nights. So that's 4 really weak opponents too. So look for those kind of combos. There's a few others that you can make out of that and make your streamer spot into a really, really useful spot this week.
Well, I mean, Minnesota plays Columbus twice in 4 days. So, I mean, yeah, I'll give that one to you. I like it, but I can't say Ryan Hartman again. he got me again. He snookered me again.
Fair enough, but I mean, 2 games in 3 nights against Columbus will fix your woes. But look for those combos and other combos to kind of make the most of your first and second halves of the week. Now, for overall streamers for the week, we've already hit on kind of my main streamer suggestion, which I think is pretty much the most obvious thing that can be said this week, is Ryan O'Reilly. Like we said, he's playing with Tavares and Marner 5-on-5. He's on power play 2 at this point, but even that is fine. He got a point essentially on the second power play tonight. And Tavares and Marner, I mean, you're going to have to try your hardest to not get points on that line.
He's going to have so many offensive zone starts.
Yes.
Just out there, just winning pucks. Like, I'm serious. He is going to have so many offensive zone starts where you're then getting that puck to John Tavares and Mitch Marner, and goals are going to happen. Like,
yeah, I don't see how big of a stretch it is to say he's going to increase in fantasy value from going to Toronto. I mean, you're in Toronto's top 6. It kind of pushes out those edge guys that Toronto's had for a while, and he's most likely going to be the second line center. You could see him maybe going to the wing for some shifts, so Tavares takes over. But whatever. It's a incredible top 6 now. I mean, you've got really 4 centers in the top 6 right now. So, I like him. Yeah, not much else to say.
I told you I'm a big fan of a couple of schedules. I really like LA's. I really like Calgary's. Obviously, you have to have you have to have some Winnipeg in there. Clearly, we can say Blake Coleman. He is still under 50%. I believe he's 41%. But I'm always going to like Cole Perfetti too. I don't know. He's like 14% or something low like that. He's super available. Doesn't have any points in this past week. But if he's somebody, if you're in a deep league, he's gonna be available for you. And that perfect schedule. The only thing is they are playing some tough teams.
I had to try to find someone from the Islanders, and there's a bunch. I threw base.
Scoring a lot of goals lately.
I basically put the rest of the Islanders into the Just Go Check section, but almost for nostalgia's sake, Kyle Palmeri. He's a right wing, 8%, so he's definitely available in 92% of leagues. So if you're interested, he's there for you. He's only got 3 points in the last 6 games. And his stats previous to that are all that or worse. So not amazing, but a few years ago, Kyle Palmeri is a really, really, really good all-around fantasy option. He gets hits, he gets points. That's a few years into the past at this point. But since Horvat has got to the Islanders, his time on ice has been going up quite a lot, like 4 minutes. The Islanders have stopped on a dime since Horvat got there from their 4-line rotation, and they have now a top 6 that plays a ton of minutes and a bottom 6 that are the 10-minute-a-night guys. It's completely changed, and it seems like they are really trying to push that more offensive look, and Palmeri is considered in the top 6, and his time on ice has gone up incredibly. Horvat the other night had a night he played 27 minutes. When was the last time someone on the Islanders played 20 minutes?
That's a lot. That is a lot.
So they've done that. It's really significant. Everyone in the top 6, all of their time on ice has gone up. Everyone in the bottom 6, their time on ice has gone down. So Palmeri's been a big beneficiary of that. So I think he's a good pick with the Islanders having the perfect schedule. And he hits, right? He hits when he gets minutes. He hits. So I think he's a decent call.
Raj, I wanted to give you an update. We were talking about the Rangers earlier. They are now tied with the Calgary Flames. I wish I was watching this game. I wish I was watching this game right now. The Rangers versus the Flames. They're tied 2-2. Alexis Lafreniere with our boy Philip Hedl on the assist. So I'm excited about that. It's my guy. But I like Calgary's schedule, like we talked about. And there are players that are available. Blake Coleman has slowed down a little bit as far as the scoring goals. He doesn't have any points tonight and has slowed down like we talked about. But, at 21%, I'm willing to take a flyer on a Blake Coleman. And honestly, I'm even looking at Jakob Peltier. He is 1% owned. He does have an assist tonight. I don't hate it. He's on that top line and everything like that. It's interesting. I am down for dumb flyers like that. I'm not going to lie. Because then when you hit on a dumb flyer, it's fun. He's 1% owned. He has a very good schedule and is actually getting time with good players. Like, those are things that make me want to pick people up. And I am down to, I don't know, down to do something freaky every now and then.
There you go. Speaking of dumb Flyers, it's 4-2 Canucks right now.
Okay.
Scott Lawton.
Okay. See, now that seemed a little aggressive, you know? That seemed a little much.
I have so little to be on about at this point. Scott Lawton, Morgan Frost. That's nice. I like those guys. Beauvillier with 2 goals. Kuzmenko with a goal. And Philip DiGiuseppe. Patterson 3 assists. Right on.
So I know that you like Calgary too. Who do you got? I feel like this was unfair.
Well, I did my notes first, so I got to pick Mikhail or Michael Backlund.
It's horseshit.
Center 21%. 10 points in the last 9 games, so he's been getting points. He's on power play 1. And now Lindholm is taking a few games off for the birth of his kid. And what those games are going to be is against Philly and against Arizona, and then also Vegas. But those 2 off nights against Philly and Arizona next week are pretty prime games, so he's going to probably get an extra minute or 2. And he's already been getting pretty prime minutes again, but just like the old days. So yeah, he's been producing. He's going to be getting the good deployment. The second half of the week is Vegas and Colorado, so I wouldn't be shy about swapping him out if you have another option in there. But 3 games and 4 nights, the first 2 are pretty weak. So yeah, I think Backlund's a good pickup at the front half of the week at the very least. In terms of just go check type of players, I mean, as I said earlier, I threw the whole Islanders other guys onto the just go checks. Barzal 74%, Brock Nelson 72%, Anders Lee at 55%. Like I said, the whole Islanders top 6 has just gotten a huge kick in time on ice. I think you got to look at those guys if they're available. The Islanders are at least making a push to do something offensively and have completely shifted away from their 4 lines with equal time on ice. So hop on it if you can.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Blake Vanilla Yogurt Wheeler. I misspoke earlier. He's actually 52%, so he is over 50%. But they do. They have a great schedule, and he actually, he's been doing very well lately. He legit. He is, he has actually been getting some points. He's taking shots. But at over 50%, he's someone that you can pick up half the time here and get in on that perfect schedule. So yeah, I got Blake Wheeler here. I'll take him.
Fair enough. He's Blake Wheeler. He's a guy on the backside of the career, but he's still very viable. In terms of banger suggestions, guys who are going to bring you the hits mainly and maybe some blocks. Just to go full bandwagon, I threw in Noel Acciari, center left wing, 9%. His role on Toronto is pretty clear. He's going to be a bottom 6 guy, maybe score, but definitely come out and hit. So I think particularly this week, I could see him coming out and throwing some bangs. So I think Acciari could be a good bet. They got a reasonable schedule, and like I said, just Friday, Sunday off nights for them. So, he's pretty trendy, so I could see some people picking him up. But if you could throw him in as an end of the week off night pickup, he could definitely get you some hits. And he's going to be excited to play in Toronto. You never know.
I agree. I'm with you on this, Noel Acciari. I am, very much so. We talked about the Islanders having a good schedule. I think it's a perfect time to bring up Matt Martin. He's actually been getting some points lately, but he's always going to get you a ton of hits. I think he's like 3rd on like the, hits leaders for this season. He gets a decent amount of blocks here too. I think Matt Martin is your answer. Oh, 8% owned too, if that matters. I don't know if that surprises anybody, but if he would have been over 10%, I would have been wildly surprised.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Martin is second in history for hits. So safe bet. It's not you're picking a guy who's getting a few hits right now. Matt Martin, I think, is always a safe bet for that. Now, goalie wise, to me, looking at the week, Antti Raanta looks like he's most likely going to get a game against Anaheim on Saturday. So if you're looking for just a goalie streamer for one night, Raanta is probably a great option. Anaheim stinks. So what more do you need to say?
I mean, I think you can still take a look at like an Adin Hill here. He's just over 50% owned, and he's gonna get these starts. I do. I'm in on the Adin Hill thing. Why the hell not? He's not doing that bad. He hasn't let up more than 3 goals in a game here so far, and he has a bunch of wins in that span. I'm in. I'm down for it. Why not?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, wins in most leagues, wins are the most important stat.
Yeah, but that's somebody that it's not like you have to search for. What I'm saying is it's not yet you don't have to search for starts. He's available and he gonna get them starts.
Like, oh yeah, on an elite team. So I'm all for it. All for it. In terms of my streamer pick for the week, I got to go with Mr. Obvious, Ryan O'Reilly. Yeah, like we said, he's playing with Marner and Tavares. That is a stellar, pretty much the best line you can ask for. So if Ryan O'Reilly has anything left in the tank, we're going to see it. And this would be the week for it to get started. So I'm going with him. Who do you got?
I'm going to go with Victor Arvidsson here. Like I said, I'm a really big fan of the Kings' schedule this upcoming week. And Vic Arvidsson is available, 25% owned. They didn't have any points in today's game where they got 5 on the Coyotes, which is just a normal thing. Boy, Sean Durzi did, though, just so everybody knows. Just want to throw that out there. But Vic Arvidsson, very available, and a good guy to pick up here. Just stream it up. On top of the fact that I'll say this, the Kings have been scoring tons of goals lately. Tons of goals. They have at least 5 goals in the last 4 games.
The Kings are, I don't know. To me, the Kings are very surprising for the whole season.
Or, hey, what about a Phil Dano? He's, around 30% owned or something like that. Down for a Phil Dano.
Yeah.
I want to take both of them. I'm picking both of them. I'm picking Phil Dano and Vic Arvidsson. I'm taking both of them as my streamers of the week. I need to make up for this Ryan Hartman shenanigans.
Fair enough. Well, they've done nothing tonight, but
they're my guys. I'm gonna bring them up to the office. We're gonna talk. Call them upstairs
tonight. Phil Dano is leading the Kings in ice time tonight. How about that?
Doesn't surprise me at all.
So they're trusting him with minutes. But at any rate, I think that's all we got for this week, this weekend, this week preview. Happy Sunday morning.
It is Sunday morning.
We'll be back with the Tuesday trends. You can get us on the Fantasy Hockey Discord. You can get us on Twitter at FHF Hockey. We'll be back. Hopefully TJ will be back from his party in Jersey, a real hockey town. What do you...
What?
Jersey, man. Out of what, Vancouver? What are you going to call that, a hockey town? Philly? I don't know.
But Jersey isn't a town. Jersey is a state.
Oh, whatever.
That's why I'm laughing.
It's a hockey
Philly
town.
is a town. Vancouver is even a city.
At any rate, we'll catch up with you in a few days. Love you guys.
Love you.